Okay, so this tutorial is how to paint in Photoshop using the pattern stamp tool. It's a super easy way to do it and it's super quick. So what you're going to do is everyone in class is going to use this lovely image to begin with, and I want to see how you guys can create something very different. So I want everyone's to be as different as possible using different brushes, different size pattern stamps, different ways to do it, and really experiment with it. It really doesn't take very long to do, um, maybe 1 or 2 class periods, but it's really easy and really fun, and you can do some wonderful things to it. This image, when you are done with it, you'll flatten it and hand it into Google Docs, and then you will pick your own image and create a painting using that image. So you will need to bring in an image tomorrow or Monday. Seniors, this will be your last project. So juniors, you will be doing another painting using a different technique. So first, this is an extremely large file because this is straight out of my camera. If we were in digital camera, you would run some actions on it. But you're not, so that's okay. But we do need to change the image size, otherwise you will be taking up a lot of memory and it'll really lag. So let's go down to image size, and we're going to go in here, and we're just going to change the width to 10 and the resolution to 300 and press OK. Okay, so you have this. So what we want to do next is we want to select the entire image. Command A selects the entire image, and just like you guys created your brushes, you're going to go up here and you're going to define pattern. And you can I just save it as the image. I don't switch that up. I press OK, and then I deselect. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create a new layer and create another new layer. This one you're going to fill either white or black to begin with. You can always switch that. I'm just going to fill white. So now this is gone. Now I'm going to click on layer 2, and this is the layer I'm going to paint on. If you want to rename that, you can. Then I'm going to come over here, and we have the clone stamp and we have the pattern stamp tool. So I'm going to click on the pattern stamp tool. Remember, if you click and hold, you'll get that. Opacity remains the same, flow remains the same. Make sure mode is normal. You can do aligned or impressionist. You can experiment with those too. Remember, you can always create new layers. You can always undo. Obviously, I do not want a picture of Hadley to be my pattern, so I'm going to click in here. And I'm going to scroll all the way down. I have tons of custom patterns. And I'm going to pick the last one, which should be the image in which you selected all. Now, I have a very tiny brush. I don't want that. I'm going to go in here. Now, your custom brushes are really, or your default brushes are really nice because we actually have paint brushes in here. We have, you know, the fan brush, we have the fill brights and the flats and things like that. Angle brushes. So you could use these if you wanted to. I'm going to use the round stiff fan with thin bristles maybe first. Make it a little bit larger and see what that does. Now if we were using a tablet, which I have one in the classroom, we could do some different pressure things. However, you're just using a mouse. I know that it doesn't do exactly the same thing. Now notice this is a little bit lagged. It is a little slow. You can do a lot of different things. You could create lines. I could create this really huge. Oh, and I can do different effects with it. You can go into your different brushes that you have downloaded if you have downloaded those brushes that were on the set, and you can pick different ones. I like to use things such as distressed. My computer seems to be acting a little slow today. These are going to be huge. I can change the size. Obviously, I don't want them like, I'll take 1,000, 1,200 to get different layering effects in here. I could even do this on one layer, all of this on one layer, create a new layer, and do some different things on top of that. The possibilities for this are really quite endless. You can create some really wonderful things. You can try doing the Impressionist. If you want to get back to your original brushes, you just reset your brushes. Press OK. And then we're back to our original brushes. So you can use different layers in here. I could do that underpainting and then I could go over it with this. I could select all and delete it if I don't like it. So now I can go in here. I could do decay matter. Press OK. And I'll use this one for my underpainting. And remember, I can open my brush presets, my brushes, and I can change my angles of these brushes. I could even do scattering and texture on there if I really wanted to. I like a little more control. Really, this assignment is more about experimenting with things than anything else. Say I have this all done. I'm going to go back to my layers. And since this is my underpainting, I'm going to turn it down so it's very light. And I'm going to create a new layer. And then I'm going to go back to my assorted brushes. There are also some good wet media brushes that you could use on here. Now I'm back to my original layer. Remember, I can go into my brushes and change this up a bit. Has some bristle qualities in here. It does a lot of different things when it comes to these wet media brushes. So I can change the thickness, length, so I can shorten it up. I can make it longer. I can adjust the angle. That's the same way as I did the others. Spacing, different things like that. There's lots and lots of different ways. I can also just reset my brushes. Go back to this fan brush, which is very tiny. Make it huge. And go in here. And go from there. I want to see the brush strokes in this. I want it to look like a painting. I don't necessarily want it to look like that. It's very important that you do that. Remember that these brushes are sometimes very different than the other brushes. So you can really go through that. You can try the Impressionist. I really don't know what that does. So you can really mess around with that if you want to. So that is how you are going to create your painting. You need to get this done by Friday, end of class, and hand that into your Google Docs. And then start on your free choice in the seniors last project on which will be due by Wednesday.